So we're back over in our job where we were yesterday. Ricky's starting to work on the brickwork, just taking out these bricks here, and he's going to re-secure all of that back in, re-brick all that, and then he's got to redo all this side as well. Let's see how things pan out on that. He's outside playing around. My job is to work on this. So this architrave's got to come off on this side, the window bead's got to come off. We're then gonna, as I do it from this side, we're going to multi-tool 12mm of this timber away, all the way round, and then we're going to inset some plasterboard, and we're then going to expanding foam or plasterboard over that, and then we're going to plaster that in so that it marries up with that, and then we'll run a new architrave around it all, so that's going to go completely. Took the door off. We've now ripped off all the architrave. That is a bit of trunking, which is electrical, so we can't touch that. So, like I said, we're going to now potentially cut 12mm of this away. We haven't got to do full depth. Maybe on the top I will. On this top bit I might take the full 12mm both sides, just because I want to get the plasterboard tight to the ceiling. But here we've only got to go in a little ways, just so I can inset the plasterboard flush with the frame. I can then skim that section over with a bit of plaster and make it look tidier, and then do the same on the reverse, and that way then that will then be looking solid, and then we can just put the architrave around. So let's get that cut out and see. Now starting to brick up, you've got that one to do. He started that one, so that'll look all lovely when he's done. And I've just finished multi-tooling out the frame, so now I'm just going to start cutting some plasterboard to go in those slots. Then we can knock some gear up and get it skimmed up. Put a bit of timber there. Yes, it is a spare spindle. We've multi-tooled all the timber out both sides, and we've cut some plasterboard. So let's get that in there. And there we go, so that's plasterboarded now, so a little bit of jointing tape either side and a bit across the ceiling, and we can patch that up. That's the same on both sides. So let's go knock up some plaster and get that done. Done, so we'll get some brick cleaner and we'll clean the bricks up tomorrow. So he's just got this side to do, and then basically ready for the porch to go in. But I think that's a big improvement on somebody else's idea of patching bricks in. But yeah, obviously they're not going to be a perfect match. They are the same brick, but obviously these ones are weathered and them ones are brand new. But give it a few years and that should blend in quite nicely. We've taped and jointed it, and we've now put a coat of Unibond everywhere. Generously, we're going to put some on the ceiling a little bit, and I'm just going to use a paintbrush just to try and replicate this stipple look. And then something we plastered at a later date that looks a little bit uniform. And it'd be nice to say in this side, we're just going to put a little skim there just to try and tidy it up. I'm not really sure what they're going to do around the loft actually, but it is what it is. But anyway, our priority is here, so give that 5 minutes to tack off and then we'll get a bit on it. Now, no hate guys, because I'm not a plasterer by trade. Just going to get some muck on my hawk. And put a lot on. Give it its first coat, let it go off. And this heat, this will probably go off quite quick, to be fair. Like I said before, you're not trying to get it completely perfect first time round, because you ain't, that just isn't going to happen. The whole point of what you're doing here is just to get it on the wall. And like I said, I'm going to put a little bit on the ceiling, which I'm going to put a stipple on. Not even going to try and polish it, this is purely just to help hold the scrim tape in place at the minute. And that is good enough for my first skim on this side. I'll let that go off a little bit, and then we'll flatten it off a bit more. And we'll give it another skim. Just got to do the exact same again, but on the other side. given that side a first skim, and this side's had a first skim. We've put a bit of a stipple on the ceiling just to try and blend that in. That I need a bit more work on it yet, but we've got to let that go off at the moment. As you can see, it's too soft to do anything with, so we've got to leave that now, let that harden up, give it a flatten off, smooth it out a bit more. I've got to put a second coat on where needed. Leave that towards the end of the day. We can throw the architrave on, maybe even tomorrow, to be honest. Probably tomorrow will be better. So in the meantime, we've got architrave to do in the hallway, skirting to do in the hallway, a bit of skirting in this room where I am now needs to be done, so we can get on with that as well. I've got the 2 rollerball catches to fit, so we've got a few bits and pieces still to do internally, and then we've got to concentrate on the outside. So see you in a bit. Ricky is finished now on the outside. He's done a great job of the brickwork. Clients are absolutely over the moon. Already seen that side. That's the other side, so leave that now till tomorrow, because we're going to have to drill through them potentially, which is what I really didn't want to do, to get a fixing for the gallows brackets. But we'll have to see how things pan out tomorrow, because I can't do nothing on that today, and I'm a bit dubious about doing it tomorrow, to be honest. But we'll see how things pan out, I suppose. See you in a bit. We're going to get that plastering done soon. Guys, so we're pretty much done upstairs now. All the plastering's done. Not perfect, but I'm not a professional plasterer, but it's good enough for the decorators. So you've got new architrave there, skirting down there. We've put a pig's ear handrail in, which we've had to scribe to the wall, just so that handrail's continued up. That's what they asked for. These doors are now done in here. So we've got a nice little pull handle with the bolts on the back of the door, and a roller catch on the cupboards. So decorator now can take those off. But a bit of filler on that. Happy days. So that's all beautiful. Obviously got new skirting down all the way around there and all the way behind the bed. Up there's all plastered. All the architrave is now on, down there and down there. Handles on this side. Happy days. So that was it for us up here, but the clients now asked us to replace this architrave. So we've got to get another length tonight, and we'll do that tomorrow. I don't think it needs doing, but they're adamant they want it done. That's fine, we'll do it, not an issue. And obviously Ricky's done all the brickwork outside. I think that was really about it today, really, up here. So tomorrow we'll be on that porch. So see you in a bit. Just gonna finish tidying up, and that's us done. So don't forget, like, share, follow, subscribe to that YouTube channel. And again, really appreciate all the positive comments that you guys have left on the video from earlier today. Customers are over the moon with that staircase and that handrail. And I know yesterday in his comment he said how wobbly that is. It's minimal. That's about as much wobble as I'd expect to see from a newel post because of the pivot point, you know. But everyone's got their own opinion and they're entitled to it. But anyway, like, share, follow and subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.